Formula 1 2024 season was going crazy so far, and then Austrian GP happened. Just before last 7 laps remaining for checkered flag, things got very exciting. Lando Norris and Max Verstappen had a collision, both the cars had a puncture. However, Max was able to run again after the pit stop, but the race ended for Norris due to huge damage to the car. Due to this, George Russell from Mercedes got the podium, lucky him, and again a disappointing race for Charles Leclerc. Let's discuss what Austrian GP 2024 taught us. So let's talk about the driver who is leading the constructors, Max Verstappen. Poor show by him. He is third-time world champion now, and we don't expect this kind of race from him. It reminds me of old Max Verstappen where he used to crash into someone at every other race weekend. It is not suiting for third-time world champion. I think he should lead by example. It was clear that at the end of the stint, Norris had the pace as compared to Max, and he was putting better laps than Max. Max has all the rights to defend against Norris, but it should be clean and fair. Max was moving more in the braking once Lando overtook Max at turn 3 from outside, which you are seeing on the screen right now, and gave him the position back very fairly. And on very next lap, Lando Norris lunges from the inside, Max goes off the track and gains position. Now here, Max or his team, no one communicated with him to give the position back to Lando. This could have been a penalty as Hamilton did with Carlos Sainz. That was a fair move by Lando. McLaren's team principal Andy Estella was very brutal on this and said that the whole world thinks it's wrong and a group of people think it's right. By this way, Red Bull and Max Verstappen will lose the respect. And on the other hand, Christian Horner thinks the penalty was harsh for Max Verstappen as he had puncture 2 and 10 seconds penalty over it. However, I think there should have been much harsher penalties for such incidents as he was able to join the race after the pit stop and Lando was out of the race due to Max's fault. Also, no action was taken when he went outside of turn 3 and overtook Lando Norris. Well, this isn't the first time for Max Verstappen. In 2019, he overtook Charles from inside, throws Charles to the outside and escapes any penalty. And we all know what happened at Brazil with Lewis Hamilton. There are a certain group of people who think Max is doing the right thing, as after the race, Christian Horner and GP said it was Lando's mistake. Already things are not going well with Red Bull, top management is leaving and things like this makes others to lose respect for them. Let me know your views on this. Coming to McLaren, that MCL38 is very fast and it is the closest contender to RB20 of Max Verstappen. They were slow in quali as compared to Red Bull, and in race pace they are strong. They can keep their tire alive for a longer stint and are good in strategies too. Oscar's penalty on track limit costed him the race win at Austrian GP. If he would have started the race in P3 just as sprint, then he would have taken the first race win of 2024 season. I guess in Silverstone, Lando Norris won't leave Max. After getting P2 at Spanish GP, he was not happy. This shows his eagerness to win the Grand Prix. He's ready to fight with Max Verstappen. I can't wait for Silverstone. Let me know your views on this. Coming to Mercedes, 3 consecutive races by them, beating Ferrari all in. Mercedes is genuinely the third best team on the grid right now, still behind McLaren and Red Bull. However, if Red Bulls and McLaren are out of any race in the future, then this is the team who can win the races. Lewis Hamilton reported a floor damage and giving the position to Carlos and serving the penalty costed him P4 at Austrian GP. Overall, strong race by them. Future upgrades are in pipeline and I think after summer breaks, they will be in the mix to fight with the Red Bulls and McLaren. That will be very exciting to watch. Let me know your views. Coming to Ferrari, another tough weekend for them. They're losing all the sparks they have gained so far. Their development is not going in the right direction and it all started with the upgrades brought at Imola. They were the closest rival to Red Bull so far and are now behind Mercedes. They are 64 points behind Red Bull, 23 points ahead of McLaren and 95 points ahead of Mercedes. They need to find something to sort out the issues. At first, they were lacking downforce and now they are experiencing bouncing, which means the recent upgrades have added too much downforce to the SF24 than required, due to which they are facing bouncing issues. Charles' race was complete disaster. In sprint qualifying, his engine went off and in race qualifying, he went onto the gravels, which made him lose his position behind Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Earlier contact with Oscar forced him to take early pit stop, which made his race disaster. He ended his race at P11, 67 seconds behind George Russell with 4 pit stops. I was seeing his lap times. He was not able to put in strong lap times even on new tires as compared to the front runners, even though he was running in cleaner air for a longer time. At one point of time, his race pace was slower than Bottas. I guess apart from front wing, there were some more damages to his car which would have been impacting his race pace. This is the second race where he went off without scoring any points. Fred Vasseur, Ferrari's team principal, is still optimistic that they can bounce back and their pace is similar to Mercedes. However, I don't think so by looking at the race pace of George Russell and Carlos Sainz. Ferrari needs to find the solution ASAP to remain in the constructors, otherwise it will be too late for them. Sainz got lucky that he got third place and a good chunk of points for the team. What I think Silverstone will again be a tough track for them, high slow speed corners which will test the downforce of the car. Let's see how Ferrari responds to the upcoming races. Great weekend for Haas, both the drivers entered the race in top 10. Hülkenberg in P6 ahead of Perez and Magnussen in P8. Lot of points in the bag after such a long time where they were just throwing away the points due to driver errors. Currently, they are standing at 7th position in the constructors behind RB. Daniel Ricciardo, after some tough races, he was able to score points, ending race at P9. Norris and Charles Leclerc not completing in top 10 has given some boost to midfield teams. Upcoming races will be tough for Daniel as Dr. Helmut Marko is after him. He said RB is team for young drivers. This says a lot. Daniel's poor performance must be sorted out ASAP. Otherwise, we could see Liam Lawson driving RB alongside Yuki Tsunoda post-summer break. Gasly ending in P10, which means more points for Alpine. Battle between Ocon and Gasly was intense. Both weren't backing down and ready to fight with each other. Ocon leaving the team by the end of the season is giving tough fight to Gasly, which could potentially open the door for him. Alpine were the last at Bahrain GP and now after 11 rounds, they are scoring points in every race so far. Great performance by them. Kick Sauber still to open the account. The upgrades brought by them have not helped them. Let's see how they perform at British GP. So guys, these are my takeaways from Austrian GP 2024. Let me know yours. What do you think? Upcoming British GP will be very exciting. End of the triple header. Home race for Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Lando Norris and the McLaren team. One thing I'm sure of that Lando won't spare Max Verstappen and will challenge him for the win. And this is the time for Max Verstappen and his team to act maturely and be a real competitor. Cause gone were the days where they used to win with high margins. Now McLarens are behind them and they must fight to earn the victory. And to fight for victory, they need to be fairer and cleaner. Let's see how Red Bull responds to McLaren's fight at Silverstone. See you all in my next video. Until then, like, share, subscribe. Take care. Bye.